Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do a spring garden tour. Starting in this little deck section here, I have a couple extra tomatoes I planted. Then this grow bag is a cantaloupe. These four right here are potatoes, Yukon Gold. And then those grow bags that are kind of crumpled up and that one that's got dirt but is empty will have sweet potatoes in a week or so, once it's a little bit warmer. These are my tomatoes and some bush beans. And then between them, I've got some marigolds, and you can see there's some purple basil and some green basil there. In this bed here is some different melons, watermelon, honeydew, and cantaloupe. Then I've got this long bed with a bunch of different tomatoes. And then I've again got some different herbs. I've got nasturtium, some marigolds, and then basils sprinkled in. I've got this empty section in front that I'm gonna plant some black-eyed pea seeds in eventually. Then down on this end, I've got a couple dills and more marigolds. I'll get to the in-ground part in a minute, but this is some borage that I've got there. So I don't want to swing it all around too fast. But then this raised bed is my kind of sweet pepper area here. So I've got some different sweet peppers, like these are Carmen's. A couple of these sweet heats actually have peppers on them. Those there, those back there. And then there's some basils and different types of basils and marigold sprinkled throughout here. These are some bell peppers. Oh, and I forgot to show you closely, but over here, this bed, the tomatoes we already looked at, this one has some baby tomatoes on it and some flowers and babies up there. And this one's getting some babies too. Pretty cool. Okay, so if we go back over here, these in the little pots are, with the exception of that one melon, these are cardinal climbers that I'll be putting on the fences in a few days. Then here on this first arched trellis is my cucumbers. So on this side of it, on the left, I have regular slicing type cucumbers. And then on this side, I have pickling cucumbers. And they will grow up. And then up here, I've got some pretty decorations. Bells and moons. And back down here next to the cucumbers, I put in an extra honeydew melon here, and I will just let it trail over the side of the bed and onto the floor. Then here is some asters I planted from seed. No, is that right? I get the name confused. Oh, alyssum. Sorry, I get the names confused sometimes. And then kind of around it coming up, there, and over there are zinnias. These are some nasturtiums that I need to keep pulling this direction because they keep trying to overtake my beans. But then the beans, pole beans there. Other side of the arch is also pole beans. And then between the cucumbers and the beans is some nasturtiums, a couple of those. And if we keep going around, this is the hotter peppers. So this is one called a flaming flare. A lot of this stuff I started from seed, but a few things I did buy. Let's see, these are mostly from seed. Flaming flare, serrano, a few jalapenos. That one that's not looking too good is one I bought because my jalapeno right here, this tiny one, as you can see, it's still tiny. It's not growing too well. So I bought these two jalapeno plants at the local nursery, and they're not looking the best, but we'll see. My other jalapeno I started from seed is looking good, the mammoth. Then in this little patch, I've got some zinnias. Those ones that are a little bigger are zinnias. And then that kind of patch right there is zinnias as well, next to the marigolds. And then as you can see, there's marigolds and some basil in there too. This is some more of that alyssum. It's just a different color. This one I think is gonna be purple. Then over here, I've got a basil. This is a watermelon, a little extra watermelon that again, I'll let trail down and go into the path. And then here is my patch of calendula, which are blooming. They're really pretty. I like to use these to dry the petals and make salves with them. So then if we kind of pan over here, you can see I've got this extra raised bed right here. And I just kind of stuck some extra stuff in here. I've got 2 extra tomato plants. Wow, there's a bulldozer thing going by on the street. A couple of my extra peppers. I started from seeds, some basil in the middle there. And then those 2 big ones in the middle those are also marigolds, but they're African marigolds, so they just get a lot taller than these small French ones. So then my in-ground garden, that little fenced-in area back there are my compost piles. But this area I am slowly transforming into a perennial pollinator area. Right now I've got, let's get closer. I've got one of my extra tomatoes there, and there, and then an extra pepper. But then all this stuff over here is some natives and just other perennial flowers. So there's like some different sages, blue Russian sage, gem sage, a rock rose, that pink one. There's some different lantanas. That's a blanket flower, that yellow one that looks kind of sad like it needs water. This one is a type of perennial sunflower called Maximilian, I think, or something like that, or Maximilium. And then there's another one of those right there in the center of the screen between those 2 tomato plants. And then there's another one of those back there. Then this is a Russian sage right there. Another lantana. And I don't remember what that one's called in the corner over there, that silvery blue one, but it's there. So then, as you can see, I have these like 3 bamboo stakes, 1, 2, 3 on that side, and 1, 2, 3 on this side. And those, I'm planning on planting what are called, a type of flower called Tithonia diversifolia, which is also known as the Mexican sunflower tree. And I have cuttings of them rooting right now, and they will be planted out there once they're ready. So you can see my garden area is out there, and then over here on the patio, I'll show you all a few things I have going on over here. These are the Mexican sunflower tree cuttings I was telling you about. And as you can see, some of them, like this one, are still rooting, but it hasn't started growing yet. But then some of them, like these are all just reclaimed pots and stuff. And that one there. And this one is really going wild. Some extra marigolds and stuff. And then these 3 are comfrey that I'm going to plant in the ground when I have time. And then I've got this tomato sucker rooting. That's my rosemary and my catnip from last year. Another little comfrey rooting. Then over here, we have a big sunflower patch. All these tall ones like this, these are all sunflowers. They will flower soon. You can see, like if I zoom in on this one, you can see how it's starting to get ahead. That'll open soon and flower, which will be real exciting. Here I have my lemongrass in the larger pot and 2 peppermints. And then that yellow pot is empty. And then over here, I have this little square thing planter that I always put herbs in. And unfortunately, my herbs from last year didn't survive. My like giant sage plants with the huge sage leaves that were bigger than my hand. So now I just got a regular garden sage from the store, a thyme in the bottom left-hand corner. Those 2 frilly ones in the center and the right-hand front corner are dill. And the back corner there is rosemary. And the last few things I have here is my, this one is my lemon plant, lemon tree, in that pot. And on the other side of the grill, I have my mandarin tree in that small pot. Those 2 big pots, I was gonna transplant my 2 citrus trees into those 2, but they started flowering and stuff, and now I can't do it or they'll lose all the fruits. And then over here's my rose area, and this small pot with the really tall tree is a moringa tree. So over here, you can see that's kind of where we were before. Over there's the moringa and then the rose area. And then in these 2 square blue pots are my new blackberry bushes. So I ordered these 2 online, and they came and were teeny tiny, literally about this tall. And I planted them in here and they started growing, and then they started getting really yellowing leaves. So I did give them some fertilizer, organic of course, and now you can see the new growth is coming in more green. Oh, sorry, my hands are really nasty because I was trimming my tomatoes. But you can see the new growth is coming in much more green. So it looks like the fertilizer is helping them. So because when they came, they were so tiny, I don't think these will produce this year. But I do think they will probably produce next year. So I'll keep an eye on them and see how they do. So this year I do plan on doing a few things with my channel related to my garden. Like I plan on making a salve out of both the calendula, and then down here there's a row of this comfrey. And I plan on using that and the calendula to make a salve. And I'll do some of that and some other things that I will show y'all in future videos. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and check back later. All right, bye.